In this video, we're going to show you how to set up a new attraction in the projects database. So starting from the home page, we will go out to Icky and Cranky Park. That's where we're going to put our attraction. And this is the list of attractions that are already in there. We're going to add a new one. Clicking that creates a new record and brings you straight to the attraction data entry page. And it starts with the first editable place, which is land. We're going to put this in Stupid Human Tricks. You don't need to have a land in there. If you want, you can just erase this. But you do need a project or an attraction name, so we'll put one in, just new attraction. And let me show you what the data looks like instead of you watching me type. So we're going to go back out to the attractions homepage real quick and pick one that I've already entered data into. Now from the attraction homepage, it puts you into the view page, so we're going to set that back over to the edit page. And here's what it looks like filled out. Again, all this stuff you can use as a cover for concatenated reports. That includes scenes and the project information and elements. Or you can use this as a separate report. It essentially just straight up looks something like this. And we'll show you, this is where you set up most of your information for how you do the reporting. And you do that from here, set up reports. This is on the, you'll only find this button on the edit page of the attraction. You click in here and you've got place for 2 logos at the top, 4 at the bottom, a lot of different selections of what you include in your reports and what you don't. A place to send the reports, because this is going to concatenate them. Basically means it's taking one report, turning it into a PDF, and then taking that PDF and adding another couple of pages to it. So we'll get into more of that when I get into how to do reporting. So we have our basic information in here. One note, if you're going to use ratings, say you've got 20 or 30 attractions and you want to be able to sort by your ratings, don't use stars, use numbers. You can't sort by stars. So once you get into here, this is just help for you to figure out your THRC, a couple little work tools. AHRC is actually, that's your actual hourly throughput. Basically, once you've got the show up and running, you could change that and add that in here if you want. This is just a tool to help you figure out your queue line space. And I know these are some weird shortcuts or abbreviations here, but if you hold your mouse over the top of it, it'll tell you what that's for. So this is queue area you would like to specify for each guest. So this is your capacity in number of show capacities or show loads. So this ride holds 104 people and is a 3-minute cycle. We want to hold 3 show loads, so that's 3 times this and 3 times this basically, and we want to have 0.8 meters. If I hold my mouse over here, 0.8 meters squared for each person. So with a show load of 3, that gives us 9-minute capacity and 312 people capacity, and this is how much queue area you're going to need. It's a tool that you can use or not use. Down here you can put in your logo for the attraction or your picture. Also remember, you've got logos you can set up on here too. So this a lot of times I'll use as my just a picture that represents the attraction. And even though I've got these labeled as, plan views, you can use them how you like. They will show up in the reports as well. This information down here, notice you've got the size of each picture. If you use links, which I'll get into later, it doesn't take up any space. But if you start putting large photos in here, like 32 meg photos, you can slow your system down if you load it up with a bunch. Also, notice that here you can click into the space. If you go to the view side, if you pull one of these up, you can actually pop up a separate window and then increase the size of it to make it something that's actually viewable. So a lot of times while I'm on site, I can use this to put my drawings in. There's other ways to do that too. I won't bog down with that right now. Also notice these, let's get back to the edit side. I can click on one of these and bring up a full list, so you don't have to type in a little tiny box. This is shown in a little tiny box so you can see what's basically what's filled out and what's not. And then you can click on it to actually read the whole thing, and you can resize it, do whatever you need to there. You've got your space for working notes over on the side here. You've got your budget. If you've got the rights to access the budget, you can go into that. Now there's a budget set up for each individual attraction, and this stuff here is set up by attraction basically. Elements are also set up by scene, but we'll get into more of that detail later. For now, know that the budget, you have to have a separate password, or not a password, but you have to have the rights to get into the budget before you can go to it, even if you can go to the attraction information page. And that's also the same with going from view to edit. If you don't have the right rights, then you cannot get in here and edit. Specifications, this is the same thing as that you had on the project level. You can just access them here. You can also add things here. Now you can just go down to the bottom of this list and start a new one. And if you hit this add specification, I put these buttons up here, but in this case all it really does is takes you down to here so you can figure out, okay, this is going to go to the GC. So we've already covered this in the project level. We'll go back. And that's essentially all you need to do to set up your attraction.